What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Between the Pipes. Your host, as always, Archie. I've got Wade with me here, and we're in for a doozy tonight. So as announced earlier on in the week, we're going to have a special guest joining us this evening to perform for us something that he put together dedicated to the Humboldt Broncos, which I'm sure, Wade, you probably remember this as well. Happened just over 2 years ago now, in 2018. The bus tragedy that pretty much changed and affected everyone in North America in one way or another, whether it be through hockey, through what happened itself. And I was just speaking to Greg earlier on about how the impact not only impacted the immediate players that were on the bus, but also the families of those involved, friends, families, teammates, opponents, and how it must put a worry in the heads of so many other parents when their kids go off to a tournament and they're on that bus and they're always going to think back to the what ifs and the possibilities of things happening. So just to reiterate the fact that it was a tough time, but I think what the important thing is how people were resilient and how they bounced back, and how hockey as a community, how it brought back a country, how tragedy pretty much brought us back to a place of peace and brought everyone together to the point that all the NHL teams paid tribute to that, if you recall. So without further ado, we're going to introduce our guest for this evening, Greg Ryder. So I'm going to just bring him in here, and we will give you guys a bit of a introduction, get to know him, get to know each other here a little bit, and then we'll get to this performance. So without further ado, Greg Ryder, how's it going, buddy?
What's going on? How you guys doing? I'm doing good. What's going on?
Very good. Very good.
So what are you up to? What have you been up to these last couple of days?
Well, these last couple of days, has just been pretty busy, obviously, with kind of everything going on and just trying to get to as many kind of comments for the song. And just working on trying to get it up. That's the biggest thing on my mind right now. But other than that, I got a fresh little haircut for this, and I'm just feeling good. I've been rocking COVID hair for so long that I had to mix it up.
Yeah, man, I feel you there. I think we all had a little bit of a COVID hairdo for a while. Once things kind of settled up, you got to go clean up, freshen up, get yourself a nice clean look.
Exactly.
Just to give.
Hey, man, I don't know about you guys. I grew it out. I had the beard going, man. I was slicking the hair back. I was making Insta posts. I'm like, this is what COVID does to me. I don't know. I just have nowhere to go right now, all that kind of stuff. So I just grew it out to see what it would look like. I haven't grew my hair in like 10 years, but it gets to a point, man, where it's that weird length where you're just like, I can't do it no more. And I just took it off, man. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Oh, man. You get past the awkward phases, though. Like, I noticed
that's what it is. It's the awkward stage.
It was beautiful. Like, how hard is it to grow your hair out when you got to go see people? You have like your hair like sticking out to the sides. This is just like, whatever. Screw it. I'm just going to push it back and keep pushing it back. So, yeah, I was rocking the long hair for a bit, too. It was fun.
Awesome. So just before we get into it, I'm just going to show a quick video so people kind of get an idea of what's going on tonight. So if for anybody who hasn't seen the promo, here it is.
I know how it feels to stand on that blue line, wearing my jersey on a Friday night. Family and friends press against the glass, holding their breath.
So there you have it. So we're just going to, tell us a little bit about yourself with regards to your journey. I know we were talking earlier, you're back in Canada now, you're at home.
Yep.
But you have traveled. You've been to Nashville and back, essentially. So what led you to it? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I always talk about my path and my story, and it's just so unorthodox. It's not like, a lot of different musicians their plan is to kind of get big in their town, get some fans, and then head down to Nashville. I did it like completely backwards. I didn't really do music in my hometown. I was like this closet singer that like never thought I could do music full time. I always just had in the back of my head, I'm like, Greg, this is a hobby. Like, let's just be real with yourself. So, deep down, I wanted to do it, but I just didn't know anybody that was actually doing it full time. So I actually took more of a different route. And, I was 22, I moved to Montreal and I started playing music out there, and I started just getting as much experience as possible. I started busking on street corners. I was busking in train stations. I was just trying to get better at just like playing live. Started to play a little bit in Montreal, and then I came back to kind of my home area around 23. I played some bars and some small acoustic shows, and I was just like, you know what, like it just wasn't cutting it for me here. So I remember when I was about 24 years old, actually 25 years old, I got like this hernia surgery. And I remember I was laying in bed for about 6 weeks, and I was just like on my computer, and I was like, I need to get out of here. I need to go. I don't want to like just find a job in my hometown. So I found a job actually in the Cayman Islands, and I actually applied to be a bartender. And I got the job, and I flew down to the Cayman Islands, and I was working there, and I was starting to really play music. I was known as the country guy on island. So I'd go to all these open mics and stuff, and I was starting to play a bunch of country music. And the one night that kind of changed my whole direction was I was playing this little island bar, and it was an open mic. And it was a busy, like Tuesday night was like the night to go out, because it was such an industry island where everyone worked on weekends. So it was a Tuesday night. It was just popping. It was busy. And I was up there playing a song. I was playing a Luke Combs song. And I think it was like Hurricane at that point. And I remember this girl walked up to me after, and she comes up to me. She's like, I don't mean to be rude, but like, what are you doing here? And I was like, what do you mean? What am I doing here? I'm like, I'm living on an island in beach shorts and sandals. What do you mean? What am I doing here? What are you doing here?
I'm enjoying life.
Yeah. She's like, why aren't you in a bigger city doing music? And I'm like where? And she's like, you need to be in Nashville or LA. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm not even close to like how good those people are in Nashville. And she's like, Greg, you are. And I was like, nah. She's like, come down for 10 days and literally come and visit me. And like, I'll show you a couple places. And I'm like, okay, I've never been. So here in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm just going to go to Nashville and just get drunk for 10 days and just have a ball. And just, if I get a chance to sing on a national stage, like that's going to be a huge honor. So I take a trip over there. I actually got my parents. They drove down from Waterdown. They met me there because we've both never been to Nashville. For the first.
How far is that drive, Greg?
11 hours.
Ooh,
that's not bad.
That's not too bad.
It's not bad.
Not bad.
So
all right.
So we did every tourist attraction you could possibly do in 3 days. We did the Grand Ole Opry. We did everything. And I remember on like the fourth day, I was like, yo, I just need to friggin' like go be by myself. I need to just take this all in like by myself. So I started walking down the street, and I found myself on this street called 2nd Avenue. And I kind of walked into this bar, and I started chatting with the bartender and stuff. And, instantly we had this connection. And she was just like, hey, like, where are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from Canada. I live in the Cayman Islands. I'm just, she's like, that's such a cool life. Started getting talking. I'm about 8-9 beers deep at this point. It was 2-for-1 beers, which in the States is like water. Like it was literally, I was getting like tall boys of Bud Lights 2 for $5. I'm sitting there like, I'm just sitting there about 8-9 beers deep, and she's just like, I'm just like, Jen, you're awesome. She's like, Greg, she's like, we're like friends at this point. She's like, come back with me tomorrow. We're going to get bombed on Broadway all day. She's like, I'm going to just introduce you to every single person I know. I'm like, let's do it. I'm here for 6 more days. So I remember the song came on the radio, and I started singing it as I was sitting at the bar and everything. She's like, oh, you're a singer. And I was like, nah, I don't know. I'm not really a singer. I sing once in a while. And she was like, well, why don't you go up and sing a song? And I was like, I'm good. She was like, so there were 2 guys playing at that point, and she was good friends with both of them. So she's like, hey, Trey, give this guy a song. So he's like, perfect. Pour me a shot. And Jen's like, perfect. Here's your shot. So literally, like, I switched seats with him, and I went up and I started playing like the only song I could actually think of the lyrics at that point, like 9 beers deep. and I played No Diggity by Blackstreet.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a great karaoke song.
I just busted it out, and I was like, you know what? This is just going to be it, because I couldn't think of anything on the spot. So she's taking a video of me, and she's like, what the hell? She's like, you're actually really good. She's like, why don't you live here? And I'm like, I don't know, because I just don't, I have no idea how to move here. Like, there's no way that I can just live here. So I walk home that day, I walk back to the hotel, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, yo, what just happened? Did I just like literally just like play in Nashville? And she said to me, she's like, if you ever come back to Nashville, let me know. I can probably get you a gig here. Like, you can play on like a Sunday night. I can play you a couple $100. Just come and play. So literally, she just tells me that, and I'm texting her that night. She's like, Greg, cancel your trip back to your Cayman Islands. She's like, I can get you one gig. You have one. Start with one. I'm like, all right. Woke up the next morning. I said, screw it. I called the airline and I canceled the Cayman Island trip back to the Cayman Islands, and I stayed in Nashville. And literally, I was no idea what the hell I was doing. I was so scared. I was just like, what am I doing? Like, I'm at lost. And fast forward, 6 months, I was full-time on Broadway 6 nights a week with a band playing shows. And then I stayed there for a year and a half. So literally, it was just kind of I actually always say that I accidentally moved to Nashville. That's how I say it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's the story.
My goodness. That is, I can't even believe that. I can't even put like words in my mouth to say how amazing that is, bro. That is,
yeah.
I mean, that's like, they say something just falls in your lap. It's almost like you didn't really have to make it happen. Things just happened for you, and you met people along the way that kind of grabbed your hand and guided you to what you are now, man. And that's exciting, man. What a story. I have 2 quick questions for you. When you first went up on stage in Nashville, did you bring your guitar as well, or did you just do vocals?
So he had a guitar, so he was playing his guitar and singing. So he literally just gave me his guitar, and we switched seats. So he went and sat at my seat at the bar, and I sat at his seat on the stage. And it was just like a swap. And it was just the way it happened. And those 2 are still my friends to this day. Jen is still one of my best friends. I stayed on her couch for 2 months while I was living in Nashville. She gave me a place to sleep on the couch. And the guy that let me play the song, I slept at his house for about a month.
Wow.
Isn't that, oh my goodness, man. What a story. That's amazing, bud. That's totally amazing. I'm envious. It sounds so cool. I mean, from Cayman Islands, I mean, what Canadian from Waterdown town goes to the Cayman Islands to bartend, meets up with a girl that's inspires them that he is a good singer and a good artist, and then goes to Nashville and hits it off. It's almost like a little dream come true, right? So
sure.
That's fascinating, dude. So I want to ask you, Greg, who are your inspirations? Like, how did you become a Canadian country music artist? Who are your biggest inspirations?
Yeah, and then honestly, like, I feel like I have much different answers than any country artist any artist you're gonna bring on the show, because I definitely did not have the confidence in myself growing up and getting in this industry. Like, I never believed in myself, and it was very hard. I had to be told that I was good at this and that I actually had a future in this to start believing it in myself. And people go, "Have you been singing all your life?" I go, "Nah, like." Literally, like, I've been singing, but like I never really like sang confidently. I just kind of always just did it. In the back of my mind, I'm like, this is not possible. Like, I'd sit in the shower and I go, can you imagine, like, if your life was music, like you get to like sing on stage and I was like, there's no way that could be my life. So like it was funny. Like, that's literally how it happened. So like my inspirations were more in like my first love was public speaking. Actually, like I loved public speaking back in elementary school, and I loved it. And the first time I ever saw someone on a stage was actually Tony Robbins. And I remember watching Tony Robbins like literally on Oprah, and I remember like watching him like just control an audience with his words. And I remember he was talking about his story. He was talking about his story and how he came from nothing, and he came from a single mother, and like how he rose to being obviously the biggest speaker and the biggest kind of deal in the world, right? And I turned to my grandmother and I said, man, that's what I want to do. I want to be on stage and I want to be talking about my story and I want to inspire people and I want to show people that, you know, it's possible to do something. And I started having this vision of being on stage. And I remember just like going over it, but I always kept saying to myself, like, but wait, I don't have a story. I come from a small town in Waterdown. I come from two amazing parents that supported me and gave me everything I ever wanted. Playing hockey all my life, I got all the $300 stealth sticks. I got all the gear. You know,
yes.
I never gotten a huge, you know, injury or anything like that. I have all my limbs. I have good health. So I started talking to myself as if, man, you don't have a story. What are people going to listen to you about? And that's what set me on this path of like, okay, you need to go find your story. And I remember I went to college to become a sports broadcaster. I went to Niagara College for sports broadcasting. And I did an internship in Toronto. And I did it for 2.5 months. And I thought this was my dream. I thought I was going to be a sports broadcaster, being on camera, talking about sports. And on my way home from that internship, I got into a car accident on the 403, the QEW. And I remember like I crashed my car and I walked away, but like my whole car was like a write-off. And even though I wasn't injured, I just remembered like that changed my whole perspective. It changed everything. It made me go, okay, if I died right there, how would people remember me? They remember me, of course. They remember me for a jock. They remember me for a guy that just got drunk every weekend, couldn't say no to a party, couldn't say no to a drug, couldn't say no to just having a really good time. Like I was just known as a fun guy. And I was always
life of the party.
Life of the party. I was always a people pleaser. And I hated that answer. And it sickened me. And I was like, I need to do more. I need to leave a legacy and I need to do something I'm proud of. And I started, after that moment, I just started taking more risks. I just said to myself, if I'm scared to do something, that means I'm growing. And I started to put myself out there and take these little steps. And I actually created a clothing line when I was 21 called the Moto Society. And it was all about inspiring adolescents to chase their dreams. We went down to California and we filmed a documentary about asking people what their wildest dreams were. Like my story is just so out there, but like, yeah, you asked my inspiration. It's not really music, and it formed into music eventually. And then I started seeing acts like Garth Brooks and Tim McGraw, and I started seeing how they entertain. And that's when it went from speaking to, okay, I like music though. How can I bring these together? And I want to, eventually my show is going to be like a variety show. It's going to be a show where I can get up on stage and I can speak about all my stories, and then I can sing songs about them. So that's the vision.
So I guess you would say you're kind of like self-inspired then. I mean, it just, there's not really some like certain individual. You kind of just opened up your mind and your attitude to yourself and really like dug in and like looked at yourself in the mirror and said, I want to do something. That's like unbelievable, man. That's really inspiring, bro. Just listen to your story. Like you may not have had a story before, but hell, you got a great story now, man. I'm having a ball just listening to you talk right now about your life. It's really cool, dude.
Thank you, man. And like, you know what? I agree. I think it had to happen the way it did, man. And like, you know, like a near death, it wasn't even a near death because I don't like to talk about it because I didn't get that injured. But I remember I went to the story conference and I was learning how to like package your story. And I remember the speaker, I booked a trip down to San Diego and I went alone. And I booked a trip and I went to this like I spent like $2,000 to learn how to speak on stage about your story. And I remember he said, write down 10 things that's happened in your life and what could you talk about? What were your transitions? And I started writing. And then at the end, he goes, is there anything you left out? And I go, like a car crash when I was 21. He brings you up on stage and he goes, hey, you wrote all these things, but what about this one at the bottom? What was this car crash about? And I go, oh man, it was nothing. Like I hit a car like 60 kilometers an hour. Luckily I survived, like nothing was injured. He goes, but did you change your perspective after? And I'm like, hell yeah, I did. Like it made me appreciate my life. Because what if I was going faster? What if like someone hit me from the back when I was jumping out of my car to go see? What if all these different what ifs happened? I might not be here. And it made me just appreciate and go, holy shit, I need to take control of my life. Like, this is just, life is controlling me right now. I need to turn this around, and I need to start going. I need to start doing what I want to do. So.
Wow, man. That's really, like, you're motivating me, man. I'm about to start doing some crazy stuff here. I'm like, all these dreams and everything that I have, I'm about to go out and conquer the world now, man. My goodness, man. I guess you said you were doing motivational speaking. I know that you were probably in class. You were the first one that always wanted to raise your hand and say something to your teacher. You were the funny, annoying kid in class. Oh, here he goes again. He's gonna talk again, dude. That's awesome, dude. Archie, man, that's what a story, bud.
Yeah,
Greg,
I mean, it's
wow.
crazy. It's crazy how an event like that doesn't necessarily need to lead to death or injury or anything like that. It's always an eye opener. I was involved in a pretty bad accident a few years ago too, and it's the what ifs. The what ifs are what changes your entire aspect on life, and it's kind of like you have that aha moment where you kind of stop and think, well, yeah, I'm lucky to be here. You're looking down at yourself. You've got everything. You're healthy. You're good.
Yeah.
But what if? And then you start to think of how that would have changed your life, and how if you survived and you ended up in a wheelchair, how would that change your life? What would it do to the people who are with you all the time? Would it change? Would people come? Would people go? So you took that, man, and you put a meaning to it. And you definitely, I mean, you say you don't have a story, but man, that's a hell of a story. Like Wade was just saying, like that is, you wrote your own fairy tale, your own Cinderella story there. And I think it's inspirational just to hear that you didn't just take it and, victimize yourself. Like, oh, poor me, I got into an accident. You took that, and it may not have been a big one for others to see, but for you, that opened the doors to now, to where you're at. So I think it's phenomenal, man. That's quite a journey. And I love that you didn't take that direct path like most people do, and that you took everything in your life and put it into a chance. You took a chance, you gambled. And I think that was the most amazing thing about the whole story.
Yeah, man. It was absolutely some dark days. And I felt like I was wasting my whole life. I felt like, I went to school and this is not what I wanted to do. And everything just came flooding in at me. And I remember just being like, okay, I'm 21 years old. I have no idea what I want to do with my life. That is the hardest thing to say to yourself at 21. At 21,
man, a lot of kids say that to themselves. If you think about it, Greg, Archie, how many kids are even 25 years old or 30 years old, and they really don't know who they are and what they're doing in life? They really don't know. And that plays on your mental health day by day. And you're just showing up, you get married, you have kids, or you're going to work. But truly, are you doing what, I'm not too religious or anything, but are you doing what the universe intended you to do in the end of all that? I think you said it the best, man. You can narrow it down to exactly what you said. You said, if the what if were to happen and you weren't around the day after or the hour after you got into that accident, how would people remember you? And I think that's the biggest question and the biggest change in your life, that very moment that happened for you, man. So that's quite amazing, man. Quite amazing.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Greg, so I have another question for you. Mm-hmm. How has COVID impacted your career right now, bud? It's kind of crazy out there right now. Obviously, there's no entertainment venues. There's not really going to bars, pleasing people, performing for people. I know that we have social media, and that's kind of the universe that we live in now. But how's COVID really impacted your career right now?
Yeah, so right now it's obviously there's been. I take it like a hit and miss. I think there's obviously been times where it's just like I could sit here and complain about, not being able to play, not being able to do this kind of stuff. But truly, it's made me really come back down to earth. It's made me really appreciate what I do have, and it's kind of humbled me a bit. Like I said, we talked in the beginning, I never thought I would take all these things for granted. I never thought that I would take just playing a show for granted, and being able to drive across the country and go speak to the school tour that I did, where I spoke to 80 schools across Canada, and I take all that stuff for granted now, and now I'm at a point where it's just like I just need to sit and I need to just keep working, because I know that I want to be ready to go, and like I want to be ready to go and start really kind of pushing it once this whole pandemic ends. So I'm just working on my brand. I'm working on really tightening up some loose ends, getting everything really squared away so that when it's time to go, it's time to go. And it's crazy. I think the whole story, and being 30 years old right now, it's just like I think I look back and I go, yeah, time has flown. Like I look back and I go, where did the time go? 9 years ago, I was 21, confused about my life. 4 different countries later, that's my life. But now I have my story. And now I have all my lessons. Now it's time to package it and tell it to the world. And I think that's where I'm at. And I could sit here and go, you know what? I'm getting a little older, but it's like, nah, like, I'm fine. This is my time. This is my time to tell now. This is my time to live the story and just tell it to people. So
awesome, buddy.
I'm good. I'm just trying to take it in, man, and write songs and just keep on trying to do everything I can.
A little bit of a preparation mode for you in a sense, right? Just kind of nailing things down and getting everything prepared for when COVID is over or the vaccine is made or whatever the hell happens, right? But that's really cool, man. You're hard at work, and it's not like you're sitting at home just relaxing. I know that you're on the strings all day and working on the vocals and talking to different people, and that's really cool, dude. Keep at it.
Thanks, man.
So you mentioned, backtracking and thinking back to things. So what brought us here today essentially is this accident, this tragic accident that happened back on April 6th, 2018, in Saskatchewan, where, for those of you who don't know, who are watching from home, a bus carrying a team, the Humboldt Broncos, essentially was involved in an accident with a transport truck. I don't even want to share the pictures because every time I look at it, it's heart-wrenching to see just the wide spread of what looked like an explosion went off. Just things everywhere between a collision with a transport truck and a bus that ended up resulting in 16 members of the Humboldt Broncos community essentially passing away, and 13 others left injured. Some recovering fully, and some, as most might be aware, not recovering fully, but making the best out of what has been given to them as this new life. And going back to what you said before, right? Like, you had that opportunity to think and sit and say, what am I going to be remembered as? What's the story going to be that people will say of me? And now you look at these 13 people who survived. I can't even imagine what it was like to be in their shoes for 2 seconds when that all happened, let alone today. Like it just thinking about just looking at the pictures and not knowing what it was like to actually be there to experience it, to look over and realize that life just changed for so many people. Yeah. And it's unfortunate. It's not something that you ever want to see happen, especially when it's something so innocent that, this in this case, a traveling hockey team, the bus driver wasn't racing. There was nothing that you could look at. It was just a horrible time, horrible place at the wrong time, whatever some people might call it. But essentially it resulted in one of the biggest tragedies in Canada, I would say, when it comes to one incident leading up to so many things. So we saw the NHL pay tribute to the Humboldt Broncos that year in a bunch of games with moments of silence. They had video tributes as players began to, or as those who survived began to be able to get back to somewhat of a normalcy to their life. Some of them had them attend games. They had presentations for them. Some are in wheelchairs. Some aren't giving up on their dreams, man. And I know there's some guys that are still out there saying, hey, I'm going to play hockey again one day. And that is an inspiration itself, knowing that these kids, I mean, you were 21. These guys, young high school kids, you know what I mean? Like, this is young kids that for them, it's all they knew was hockey. There was no, plan B in mind at that point. Like, you're just thinking everyone's goal at that point is, I want to make the NHL one day. I want to make it to the show. So to see how all of that just boom, in the blink of an eye, just disappears. And now you're wondering what next. And as a kid at that age, I can't imagine what it's like, all thoughts going through your head. So I remember seeing it on the news that day and thinking, oh my God, I hope this isn't as bad as it looks. And then you start to see things develop. Do you remember where you were that day, what you were doing, and how the news hit you and how it impacted you that very moment that you saw it happen?
Yeah. So I was down in Nashville when it happened, and I remember everything coming on Facebook. I never, obviously I didn't have any cable down, looking at Canadian news shows. So I just remember going on my Facebook and just seeing just posts and just posts and posts. And I was just like, what? Like, what's going on? Like, everything was going up, and I started doing research. I think I pulled up an article and I just read it and read the headline, and I just said, like, okay, wait, first off, I need some questions answered. Where is Humboldt? Where is this? Like, it's a small town that obviously it's on the map now, but like back then it's just like, where is this town? What's going on? Okay, junior A hockey team. Okay. Taking all this stuff in, and I don't think it really hit me until like a couple days later is when my aunt called me. And she called me and she's like, Greg, did you hear about the Humboldt Bronco crash? And I was like, yeah, like, what is this? And she's like, Greg, like, yeah, like 16 players passed away and 15 at that point. And, there's a 16th that's in critical, and they don't know if he's going to make it either. And I'm just thinking back, I'm just like, oh my God, man. And dude, you just did an amazing job of delivering that in a very amazing way. Like, you just gave amazing respect, and it put me in a spot that just, it brought me back. It brought me back to just like the emotions that like I felt when I was on the phone with my aunt hearing it for the first time. And I did not know how to take it in. And I saw a bunch of posts, and I said to myself, I need to write something. I need to write a post. I need to do a Facebook post. Okay. So I started typing something, and I was like, no. I'm like, I need something else. I can't just get this in words. Like, I can say, I played hockey and how this meant, but I couldn't put myself in that position. I didn't want to be another person. It's just like saying, like, I'm sorry to hear almost. I felt it was just another sorry to hear. Well, I wanted to say, okay, you know what? No, this is impacting my life right now. Like, I need something bigger to get this point across. And my aunt said, Greg, like, you need to write a song. Like, you need to write a song about this. Greg, you grew up playing hockey from age 6 all the way up to 18. You played high school hockey. It's just like, I played the same team for 8 years. We traveled all around, we didn't travel around Canada, but we traveled to the States, went to Cleveland and Boston and that kind of stuff. And that was my family. And I couldn't even imagine that. Like, what you said when, like, you wake up and you don't even, you see your teammate or something. It's just like, I couldn't even imagine the person that survived walking away from that and what's going through their head. Mm-hmm. Like, it's nuts. And I thought that was a huge responsibility at first. I said, I don't know. I think that's too much to take on. I think, I don't even know how to write that. I didn't really have confidence in my writing skills at that point, really. So I'm like, no, this is too big. It's too big of a project. So I just said, I'll think about it, Rose. And, a couple of days passed, and I remember it was just on my head. It was just replaying. And I remember I was sitting in my living room, and I started going like, 16 sticks. And I was just like, I just kept singing that, like 16 sticks. And I'm like, okay, that's something. Like 16 sticks. What does that mean? Like 16 lives, 16 hockey players. And I'm like, there will always be 16 sticks laying at center ice. And I was like, okay, there's something here. So I called my buddy like literally that second. And I was like, because I was writing with this guy at that point, and like we were writing some good stuff. And I was like, dude, like something massive happened in Canada, like a huge tragic accident. Like, can you write this with me? Like, I needed someone to write this with me. And he's like, yeah, dude, like come over. Like, can you come over tonight? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Went over to his house, started just like flooding with emotion, just trying to get my thoughts out. I'm a hockey player. I'm this. He never played hockey before, so he didn't understand some of the terminology. And he said, what do you want to sing about? I'm like, man, like I used to be a hockey player, man. I used to be a hockey. Friday nights in my town were freaking awesome because like you feel like you're a big deal. You're playing like rep hockey and like, you know, there's a cute girl that maybe you've never talked to, but you want to, and she's maybe in the stands and like, you know, like that was the cool thing to do. They, you know, they hide liquor in their bottles and come to your games and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And like, I remember that. And I just said, I got to sing about, you know, a little bit of Mike, a little bit of my hockey playing and, you know, and then, yeah, the song just kind of came to life. It came to life. And I remember singing that chorus for the first time and like just shivers went through my body. And I'm like, this is it. This is something. We're on to something. Let's keep tracking it. And let's see if we can find this. And then we finished a song. We did like a little demo of it. I was so proud of it. I was so just like, yes, like I can't believe this. We did it. And I took a couple days to kind of like gather thoughts, made sure it was decent. It was a good song. And then I invited one of my drummers over, my buddies, and he got on a cajon and we did a live version of it and posted it to Facebook. And when I posted it, we got like, oh my God, this is such a great song. Like, thank you. But then like, we also got some negative feedback. And it was like some friends that I went to high school with being like, dude, this is way too soon. Like, what are you doing? Like, man, like you got to let the families mourn a bit. Like, you can't just be like releasing music like this. Like, it almost looks like you're just trying to like piggyback off this to get attention to yourself. And I was just like, dude, are you serious?
Wow.
You talk about putting your heart on the line, like just getting it like ripped from you. And I was just like, are you kidding me? And I'm the kind of guy that like, when I see that, I think everyone thinks that.
No, you know what? That's to me, that's just a jealousy thing, man. It's just like, you know what? You have the talent and the skill and you grabbed your heart and you presented it to the world, to Canada, to Hockey Canada and the NHL and everything that has to do with hockey. Yeah. You poured your soul out into a song. You were feeling the emotions like everyone else was during that accident, and you wrote a song. Yeah. And it came out, and that doesn't matter, man. Any of that negative feedback, I hope that maybe that sat with you for less than a second, man, and you just moved on with that, because to me, that's just someone trying to put someone that's going up, down. You know what I mean? To me, that's what that seems like anyway.
It stopped me. Like, I wasn't good at looking past that stuff at that point. So, like, I was still – that bottom-ended me. Like, I literally thought that, like, man – what if he's not the only one that thinks this? Then all of a sudden I got another comment. Someone agreed with him. And someone agreed with him. Someone agreed with her. And it started this little trend of negativity. And I said, yo, people are starting to think this. So I went, boom, delete. Deleted it. And I'm like, no, I am not putting that up. Like, I can't believe, like, you know what? Chalk it up for another failure for Greg, man. Greg tried something. He put his heart on his line. And you know what? Go back to writing country songs about girls and friggin' beer, because that's all people want. People don't want the heart. And I hid that song for 2 years. And I remember about 8 months ago or something, like kind of last year, I was on the school tour, and I remember I was just driving in my bus, and this Sportsnet commercial or some company came on, and it was a commercial on my Instagram, and it was actually talking about Tyler Smith, and it was talking about like his story. And I remember watching this and going like, holy crap. I'm like just watching him, and like I sent him a message, didn't think he would respond. And I was like, dude, that was so powerful. I'm like, I couldn't imagine what you have been through, what you're going through, man, dude, like just much respect for you. Just put your heart on the line, be able to speak at a commercial. And he started talking. We started talking back and forth, and it didn't even cross my mind to send him this song. Like, this was not the thing. I just wanted to see how he was, and I was like, man, like in a way, I was just like, you're a legend in my eyes, that you can friggin' go on and be this strong, and now doing so much for the mental health community, dude. You're a friggin' legend, and I was just proud of him. I was just like, dude, I think you're just the coolest guy. I think you're the coolest guy. You're one of the strongest dudes I've never seen. And he was like, dude, thanks, man. We started going back and forth. And then about a week into our talking, I said, man, you know what? Like, I'm taking a huge risk here, but you know, I got to tell you something. Like, I wrote a song about the Humboldt, about the crash. And it it was a long message. It was like one of those, one of those messages you send a girl and your heart drops because you're like, holy crap, I'm putting my heart on the line and she's going to reply with K.
Yeah. Because there's so much explanation going on in this message, right?
And I was like, he's not going to read all this. Like, I'm like, at the end, can I send this to you? He goes, dude, I would love that. Please send it. I send him the link. I am just like, I'm like a girl waiting. I'm like a guy waiting for that first date. When's he going to send it back? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Finally, on the third day, he sends it back and he goes, dude, I cried. That was the most amazing song I've ever heard. Thank you so much for writing that. More people need to hear that. Please put that out. And I was like, whoa. And I just had goosebumps just come down my body. And I started telling my friends, I'm like, man, Tyler Smith just gave me his blessing. He said, you got to put that out. That's something that's going to help people. And so I never thought of it at that time. Like, no, it's still like, I'm not confident yet in it. So I remember like literally a week ago, I was sitting in my car. I think I just had like, I don't know what I was doing. I was sitting in my driveway, just kind of like going through some stuff. And I'm just like, it just came to me. I was like, just post it. Just put it on TikTok. Don't put it on your Instagram. Don't go back to those people that like might be there again. Don't go back to those people. Go to a totally different platform. And I was just starting to try and do more videos on TikTok. And I just put it up on TikTok to see if anything would happen. And like, honestly, I was like, if I get like a couple thousand views, cool, great. Maybe people are going to be like, yo, it's a good song. Good job. All of a sudden I woke up to like 120,000 views on it. And it was just going up throughout the night. I checked it when I went to sleep and it was like maybe 40, 50. And I was like, dope.
Okay.
That's cool. 50K. Like, that's awesome. Wake up the next morning, just my phone is filled and it's just like 120,000. I was just like, what? And like Sportsnet said, this is incredible. And like things like that. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, I was just blown away. And I just scrolled through the messages and there's over 500 comments of hearts. And I remember this day and thank you so much for this song. Please get this out to the world. And I was just like, okay, we're doing it. If I didn't believe in myself before, I was like, this song, I believe in myself. This song has to be. This is the last song I ever put out. I am going to be so happy. And when I said that, I'm just like, I got to get this out as fast as possible. And now it's been like, it's only been like a week. It's crazy. It's not even been a week yet. It's nuts.
Man, and I know exactly what you're talking about. And it's funny that's how I felt when I was messaging you. I'm like, I'm messaging this guy. Who knows how many people are going to be reaching out to him? I'm a dude. He's not going to write back to me. I'm trying to think of what do I write to get him to understand that, like, this song hit me, man. When I heard it, and it was a quick glimpse, and it was just like, wait, what was that? And I thought, I need to hear more. I want to talk to this guy. I want to hear the story. And I reached out, and I honestly didn't think you were going to write back. And then when you did, and we kept the conversation going, I thought, okay, this is happening. Like, we're going to get to actually hear the full song, and I want to hear your story. It's not, it's not that story that everybody expects. So the fact that so many people can resonate with it and be in your shoes and actually relate to it is one thing. And then again, like what Wade was saying earlier, to all the naysayers before, the only positive thing about not releasing it then is that TikTok wasn't around then, man. And it probably wouldn't have blown up the way it did. So you know what? I'm a big believer of everything happens for a reason.
Yep.
I would thank those people. If you're watching, thank you for misguiding him, because this is where it's brought you today. Yep. And I can't wait to hear it. Before we get into it, I'm just going to get a couple of comments in here from some of the people watching.
Yeah.
We got Josh here, one of the other members of The Buzz. Excited to have you on the show.
Awesome.
Laugh out loud. Okay.
We got some high fives here. Best hockey talk anywhere. This guy's drunk. He's saying "Go Blues." I don't know what that's.
Come on now. Nice retro jerseys, buddy.
We got some "What's up, guys?" Daniel saying, "Always gamble with yourself." Absolutely. I mean, you took the biggest gamble there, and it paid off. Not every single one's going to have the positive payout to it, but that's part of the gamble. There's that 50-50. You never know what's going to happen. Cassie again chiming in. You would never think so. He's such an inspiration. I take it you know Cassie.
Yeah.
Personally. Okay. Daniel's also asking if you do any virtual stuff, and Cassie's perfect on time with that, linking people to your Insta, which is fantastic. Daniel's asking, have you ever got any praise or feedback from the families? We can talk about that after, just because I want you to be able to perform the song, and then we'll get into some more of those details afterwards, and go on with that.
Yeah.
So with that, I mean, are you good to go? You ready to go?
Hell yeah, for sure.
All right. So take it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Ryder.
Yes.
Let's go.
All right. Know how it feels to stand on that blue line, wearing my jersey on a Friday night. Family and friends pressed against the glass, holding their breath with every pass. Band of brothers brought together by that crest, from the first puck drop to the last playoff win. That all changed on a cold Saskatchewan night, around 5 p.m. on Highway 35. There will always be 16 sticks laying at center ice, picking sides, frozen in time with the banners high under those ramped lights. There will always be 16 dreams that get carried on by yellow and green, through every heartbreak loss and every hometown win. Nothing will take away those times, and those 16 sticks will live forever on ice. For 60 minutes at the end of the week, they were humble heroes you see and believe. Passion and faith, and laced up in those skates that brought the whole town alive with every red light say. 'Cause there will always be 16 sticks laying at center ice and picking sides and frozen in time with the banners high under those wrapped lines. There will always be 16 dreams that get carried on by yellow and green, through every heartbreak loss and every hometown win. 'Cause nothing will take away those times, and those 16 sticks will live forever on ice. No matter how much time passes, the wins or the losses, 'cause I know that they'll be watching, yeah. There will always be 16 sticks laying at center ice, picking sides and frozen in time with the banners high under those wrapped lines. There will always be 16 dreams that get carried on by yellow and green, through every heartbreak loss and every hometown win. 'Cause nothing will take away those times, and those 16 sticks will live forever on ice.
And those 60 sticks will live forever all night.
Wow.
My goodness, man.
Fantastic.
Greg, that was I have no words for that, man. That was that took me right back to I haven't heard the song until now, Greg. Wow. You're amazing, man. I'm a hockey player too, man, and I played competitively. I just played AAA till I was 21, and I had my band of brothers as well. And you know, any type of sports team that you're on when you grow up, your best friends are the guys on your team, essentially, unless they live next door to you or something. But I've made so many friends over the years, and I'm still very close to all my close hockey buddies. And you just brought everyone's life into mine and into my mind right now. And I'm just thinking about them now and thinking about the Humboldt Broncos and what a crazy time that was 2 years ago, and what an inspirational song for you to remember them and bring them back and still talk about their memories. And my goodness, man, good for you, man. I'm so happy you made that song.
Thank you.
I think all of Canada, and especially anyone in the Humboldt Broncos area, would be thrilled to have that song and listen to it at least once every few months or something, just to recognize, relive, and remember those kids, man. And for the kids that are still struggling today with a couple of their, some of them still have the disabilities and all that, and they're still working through it 2 years later. And what an impact you must have on them, and they have on you. Truthfully, one of the greatest songs, heart-written, good Canadian boy song, man. I mean, it doesn't get better than that, buddy. Good job,
you,
man. Awesome.
Dude, I so much, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I'm at a loss for words, man. I mean, the fact that we can all relate to that, the sticks at center ice, man. Like, even as kids playing ball hockey in the street, everybody throwing your sticks. You got the guy come from behind and toss sticks left and right, and that's how you determine teams. You know, like, that's what I'm picturing there. You know, like a good old game of shinny.
Yeah. And
it's, man, I think the biggest impact from that thing, from the events of all that's happened, was when they started the initiative of leaving your stick out overnight as a sign of paying respect to the families and all that. And on any other given day of the year, man, especially where I grew up in some of the areas, that stick was gone if you left it out overnight. In the morning, that's someone else's hockey stick. When this happened and they introduced this, put the stick out, leave the light on as a sign of respect, nobody's sticks went missing. And the next morning when you opened the door, it was there. And then you started to see more and more. And like, it was crazy to see how many sticks were being left. And you knew what it was for. I'm talking fire stations, police stations, everywhere. And I get goosebumps right now, even just talking about it, because it brought everybody together for the same reason. We all knew what that meant. It wasn't just some kid leaving his stick out. We're talking fathers and their sons, mothers and their daughters, just people respecting what happened. And that was their sign. That was them saying, hey, man, we're with you. We're with the families of all those who are gone, and of those who are still here. We support them. And then you come out with this. This is just, dude. You wrote
It's legendary. It's an iconic, legendary Canadian song that's going to be remembered forever, dude. Forever. It's amazing. It's truly amazing what you've done, man. And the words you use, the way you sing it, it's like how you sing it so passionately, man. Like, you can tell that you were sitting down and you were really digging deep down into your heart, and what you were putting yourself in the kid's shoes, and you wanted to sing a song about it, and it came out that way, and it came out just unbelievably amazing. It's the stick thing, Archie, bud. I left my stick out. I lit a candle by my stick too. I turned on the light, dude, and I'm not gonna lie to you, when I put my stick up and I took about 6 feet back from the front of my house there, and I just looked at it, I shed a friggin' tear, man. And I wept, and I was like, man, like, I can't believe these kids are going through this, because Canada is hockey. Like, the culture of Canada, whether you like it or not, for anyone listening, is hockey, man. And hockey really brings Canadians together. It always has. And it is a brother and sisterhood. It's family. And we really understand how that feels. And we all felt it, just like you guys said. Everybody felt it. That's why this song works, man. That's why this song is so inspirational, man, because we all feel the pain that you were singing with, man. It impacted all of us. So I mean, I got shivers right now just thinking about it. You know what I mean? I called my buddies. We were all on our hockey group chats. Everyone had some little piece to say about that, man. And you brought it back to life. And I hate that we had to wait 2 years from the time that you made it. You know what I mean? I wish I knew about this song a little while ago, but hey, good things come to those that wait. And obviously, like, could have been a kind of like a silver lining or blessing in disguise with Archie saying the TikTok, and that's kind of blew up on social media and everything and all the platforms that you could use it with now. But yeah. I mean, just I have nothing more to say because I'm rambling, man, because I'm just truly in shock about how talented and how emotional, I feel the pain, bro. I feel it. I feel like I connected to you, and the song connected to all of Canada. And I just felt like we were just in this little glowing area together, just listening to you perform, dude. Amazing. Truly amazing, bud.
Dude, I appreciate that. Thank you. Honestly, yeah, that's my first time playing that song live. So, like, you guys are like, if this thing were to take off, man, like, you guys are the first guys to ever reach out to me and ever to, you know, Archie, like,
thank you, Archie.
You know, just for reaching out, because you know what, it made me just be like, and it's funny because you think that, like, no one else reached. Like, people sent me comments and stuff, but no one asked me to be on a show or anything. And like, you know, like, that was just like, that's cool. Like, you know, I think like this is the kind of thing. So like, I was just pumped. I was like, man, let's go sing this live. Like, I'm ready. Like, it's just crazy how your life just leads up to something like this. And like, I always say to everyone, it's just like, I've busted my ass for 5 years just playing every single stage I could find, you know, playing all around Nashville. We toured around the States. I did 210 shows in a year. I played everywhere from, you know, all the way down to North Carolina. We played up in Minnesota. I remember the funniest gig ever. We played for 10 people in Idaho, in Iowa, on a trailer bed for 10 people on lawn chairs. I drove 12 hours for a gig in front of 10 people in the middle of Iowa.
That is insane.
I busted my ass, and like, literally, it's just like, when I see something like this, like, people, okay, this is a song you wrote. Like, I know that you put me on a stage, like, I'm going to perform. And I was just waiting for a song that just ripped me and it just spoke, and it just said, put your heart and soul into this. Just put everything you got, leave it all on the line, and never know what could happen. So I just want to play that song over and over and over, and just keep playing it. I just want to keep playing, because you're, like you said, man, everything you said, and it makes me think about all my teammates, and I'm not as close to my teammates anymore. Like, because I went on this journey of just going to find myself, and, you know, I come from a small town that everyone, you know, has full-time jobs and they're in trades. And I'm that black sheep that like really can't ever lock down what he wants to do with his life. And he's floating from country to country to city. Never really, like, I've been called like a freeloader. I've been called lazy. I've been called, like, you know, confused and lost, and, you know, never going to actually make it, and never actually going to ever reach my potential, or my potential, I think, in my own head. And I'm just always going to be this guy spinning his tires. And, you know, for that to happen, like, I'm not as close to my hockey guys, but it makes me think, it makes me want to call them right now and go, man, just like, let's just put that stuff aside, man. Like, we played so long together. you were my best friend. You were my best friend. You guys are my friends. And now we don't really talk as much just because we went on different paths in life. It just makes you want to reconnect with all your childhood friends and just go play pond hockey and just go back to when like you didn't have any responsibility. It was just like get home before dark. Go play.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I just like thinking about it too, man. I know that what you just said, we're just spider webbing off of kind of what I said with the getting a hold of your friends and rekindling those relationships. But I mean, it's hard. You know what, guys? You'll always have your memories. You know what I mean? There's times in life, 10 years ago in my life, where I had my best friends, and I may not talk to those best friends as much now, or heck, I might not even really talk to them at all. But at that time during my life here on this earth, they were there with me through that period, and they were my best friends. So you always have to remember that, even if you don't talk to those people in certain times, that they were a big part of your life in that very present moment 10 years ago, and that'll always be there, right? Yeah. And I just want to say this. It's a question. When did the crash happen again? What day was it on?
April 6th, 2018.
It was April
6th.
April 6th? Okay. So I was just thinking that I could really see, like I've already envisioned you, Greg, on stage, Scotiabank Arena, April 6th, Leaf game, okay, versus Winnipeg or something. I don't know. I see you, dude. I see you for like a halftime show or a pre-national anthem show for a Humboldt Broncos friggin' memorial ceremony kind of song for you. I already envisioned it. I know what's going to happen. I seriously, I know it's going to happen for you, man. It's too amazing for something like that not to happen. And I really do see it happening. So that's my vision. And that's my image of you. I already seen you singing on stage, bud, and all the lights. It's there, bud. It's there. It's going to happen. You have my word. You heard it here first, eh? You heard it here first. Wait on Between the Pipes.
Oh my God, man. That's not even funny, man. That's like it's funny because that's even a bigger vision than what I even put in my mind. I'd put like, not really, because ever since I wrote that song, man, I'm just like, I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said it, because when I say that to my head, I go, nah, let it come if it comes. But like, I want to play it. I want to play at Edgar Peterson Arena. I want to go to a home game of Humboldt Broncos. I want to stand on that center dot. You want
to play your heart out.
I want to feel it. I want to feel everything. I don't want this COVID shit to be on. I want this arena to be full. I want it to be something, and I want to do like their home opener or something, and just bring on everyone. I want to see the banners above me. I want to feel it. I want to feel everything that I wrote about in that song. I just want to I looked at the arena the whole time I was looking at this song. When I was writing this song, I just had a picture of the arena in front of me, and I just see banners. I see the center ice and the yellow and green, the blue line. I see the green chairs, and I was like, "That's my vision. My vision is play in there." But dude, the Leafs, absolutely. But my vision starts at Humboldt. Like,
of course, man. I mean, that would really. Oh my goodness, that I think you would have the most goosebumps you ever felt in your whole life, buddy. Dude, I think all of Canada would have goosebumps watching you perform there, bud. I'm telling you right now. That would be, my goodness, that would be truly amazing if they give you the opportunity to play there, man. I think they will. I really do think they will.
Wow. Yeah.
I see it happening.
Listen, Greg, what you just described there, you just described your music video. This song is going to have a music video. Most people, when they think hockey in Canada right now, up until this very moment, everybody's first image was Tragically Hip. Tragically Hip related to the Canada. And hockey in Canada. You just changed that, man. This song.
Get out of here.
No, I'm serious, man. This song changes everything. As you were talking about the banners, the sticks at center ice, I closed my eyes, and that was the music video. That a crowd right there at Elgar Peterson Arena, you at center ice, and just lights dim, banners above you, exactly what you're singing about. And
Ooh.
that is the music video, man. You're going to do this. It's not about will you, it's about when. And it's a matter of time before, this little podcast may not do it, but you're going to get there, man. It's 100%. And it all stems back to how you took that car accident when you were 21, the decisions you made then, the risk and the gamble you took to just go to Nashville. And this is it, man. And it's crazy. It's crazy. That was definitely a song. Yeah, that's a song that exactly what Wade said. I could see it being played April 6th, 2021 at a ceremony on the anniversary of this crash. And
every year, man. Every year they'll be playing that in every stadium during some type of commercial break or something. It'll be you performing, and you're gonna have the music video. And Archie, I think that you've just been hired for the assistant producer of that music video.
I'm telling you right now, though, you didn't write a song. You wrote a story, and you wrote an anthem. You just rewrote Canada's anthem when it comes to hockey. That was incredible, and it's crazy how I heard a 3-second snippet without even hearing the whole song, and hearing the whole song for the first time. I can't wait till this thing is professionally recorded in studio and available on all platforms across the nation, because that's where this song deserves to be, man. Don't give up on that.
It's magical.
Take it and go with it, man. Ride this wave. I'm telling you, this song is, again, it's poetry. You told a story, and anybody who didn't even know about this accident, didn't even see it or experience it, just lived through that moment with your song. And I'm sure the players and the family members, if they haven't reached out to you, man, I guarantee you they will, because this is bigger than life, man. This is what you did, is honored the lives of so many people, 16 specific people, in a way that nobody else did. And you took it and made it yours, and you owned the story, and you took it in a way that it told everybody the story they needed to know. It was a tragic accident. It was horrible. Nobody wants to think of the bad, but you brought it to life. You gave this thing an experience and a memory for these guys to live on forever, man. Like, this song will be forever written for this reason. And no matter how many times I hear it, I'm never going to get sick of it. Like, I'm going to replay this podcast to myself, even just to listen to that song.
I gotta get the words down packed so I can sing it in the radio in my car for sure.
Sing it in the shower where no one else can hear. But Greg, you got to do something with that. It was wonderful. And just to some more comments as you were singing, we had people sending in, the hearts in memory again to the whole thing that led to this all. And we got Ethan here saying, love Greg Ryder, love the song, cannot wait. Daniel here saying he loved it, and says hockey to Canada is like football to Texas. It's life. And it's true. It's true. We believe it,
man.
The number one thing I did as a kid when I got home from elementary school was run outside with a hockey stick, and I played till I couldn't see that tennis ball anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you're out there, and this is it. You love the sport, and the fact that this is just another example of how and the Leafs used this motto in their change room for years. It's the passion that unites us all, and that's exactly what it is. It's a passion that we all share, and man, you took it and you made it a reminder as to what it means to be family, and what it means to love each other, and to always remember your, teammates. It's not just teammates; they're your family. Yep. And unfortunately, some of these guys are never going to be able to live out their dreams. But the guys who didn't pass and who are still with us, to know that they're being honored as well with this, this doesn't take away from them at all, to keep fighting. Don't give up. We know a lot of these guys have not given up, and they're fighting, and some of them are getting into sledge hockey now, which is amazing to see. And to just not give up on your goals. You showed it before this even happened. And it's just incredible. It's inspirational.
You know what the amazing thing to me is, Archie and Greg, is, when tragedies like this happen, you know, years go by and it gets talked about here and there, right? And some people may even forget it. Sorry. And what you did, Greg, is you wrote this story, this song, this poem, this heartfelt song, and it can be lived with on a daily basis, and it can be played on the radio, and it brings everyone into the Humboldt Broncos scenario and discussion from 2 years ago, and that just right there, to have something that powerful, to have people, to have Canadian citizens hear that on the radio or see it on YouTube or whatever, or at hockey games now with your Bill Barilko's Tragically Hip songs, and then you have Stomp Tom Connors with the good old hockey game, and now you might have just cleared a pathway for yourself to have the Humboldt Broncos anthem at hockey games and on TV, and part of Canada's heritage, part of Canadian history. And you brought back something so deeply, it's so deeply impactful for everyone. And I just think it's truly amazing what you've done, man. It's a great song, and you're just a great person too, from, you know, just from meeting you here and everything and talking to you. I mean, you're truly a Canadian guy, and I'm blessed to have heard your story. Me and Archie are definitely really happy that you're on here with us, man. I mean, you definitely move me, buddy. You move me. I can't even believe it. I can't believe what you've done, buddy. I can't believe you're on here with us right now, man. You should be a Canadian. You should have a statue already, bud. Let's go.
And it's funny, as you're saying this, I'm looking behind you, Wade. You said the word heritage, and Heritage Classic. Dude, this song is a Tim Hortons.
Heritage Classic, Calgary, Alberta, baby. Tim Hortons.
If there's anybody here with a connection to Tim Hortons or Canadian Tire, this song needs to be in a hockey commercial with a Canadian brand. This is what it is. Like, I'm telling you, Greg, you're gonna do big things, buddy. Big things.
Yep.
Oh my God, guys, you're killing me over here.
I know we're pumping up the tires pretty good here, eh?
Well, like, that's the thing. Like, you don't realize, like, you know, it's just crazy just how you're making me think of my whole life, and just you're making me totally go full circle, and just realize, like, literally going back to the question that I asked when I got my accident, how would I be remembered?
That's it, man.
It's like if this were, I think like that, but it's just like you guys putting it into words that I couldn't even explain to myself, and I couldn't even say to myself. It's just like, you want to believe that your art could do that, but you don't ever really believe it until it happens. But it's just like, you realize all of your struggle and all your triumph and all the small wins, and everything has led up to this moment. Like, it is just so scary when they say, like, and that's what anyone who's listening and anyone that I want to say in the takeaway from whenever I say something is like, man, just like, there are so many people that are told to, like, quit and told to stop chasing their dreams, go get a real job, go live the life that you're just
everyone else lives. Most people live.
In Canada,
follow along.
In Canada, if you're a musician, the follow-up question is, okay, what else do you do? Because it's so hard for people to think of a Canadian as a full-time musician. And it's just like, you're going up against one of the toughest industries to get into. Countless people sing. It's so easy to get your music up nowadays. You're talking about just one of the hardest industries to get into, but I just kept saying to myself, like, I'm not a musician. I want more than music. I want to be able to, my stories and everything to come to life. And, like, you know, I don't look at myself as like just a country singer that's going to sing about, you know, like the stereotypical things that a country singer sings about. Like, I'm so much deeper than that. I have so much more life lessons and stories. Like, that's just who I am, right? So, you know, Dude, yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for just even what you've said and just like really making me believe in this even more, because you know what? I don't know what's going to happen, but like, I'm going to take it and I'm going to ride it, and I'm going to, I don't know. It just makes me just really appreciative of everything that I've been through to get to where I am today.
Oh man. So will 16 Sticks be part of your EP?
Yeah, it's honestly, it's just so early, right? I don't even know. Like, I haven't even started thinking. So like, I was supposed to have another song come out on January 29th. It's one of my favorite songs that I've had written for over 2.5 years. And it's been sitting there too. I don't know. These 3-year-old songs are starting to creep back into my life. Like,
yeah,
I'm starting to wonder what else I got back there.
You might have to go find one of your old phones, buddy, and look in your notes and your voice messages and see what you saved on recordings.
What else have I archived? You know, like, I don't even know. Like, that's just like, I'm going to have to go searching, because like, I think it's so true. Like, these songs that I wrote, like, they just weren't ready to see the light of day. And I think that's it. Like, that's what it comes down to. They just weren't. Maybe I wasn't ready. Maybe like the world wasn't ready. Maybe it just wasn't the right time for these songs to go out, because it's so true. You can have, you know, it's just crazy, man. I'm just spinning right now, and I'm so grateful and appreciative. And this was an amazing Friday night. Like, I could not think of anything better I want to do on a Friday night than
Absolutely, man. Welcome to Archie and Wade's Between the Pipes show, bud.
Yeah.
You know what, Greg? In life, you're always your worst critic. You know what? At the end of the day, you have everyone else talking about you, but you yourself, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you're by yourself hanging out and you're thinking about life and you're a little quiet and you're really analyzing what the hell you want to do with your life, you're always your hardest critic. And just listening to you say, you don't even believe it. And it takes other people to recognize how talented and how heartfelt and how skilled of an artist you are, to let you know that you're on the right path, man. You're on the right path. You're phenomenal, man. You have a gift, man, and you have to show it to the world, bud. And you started off with this song, and or you have other songs, but this song really hit home because you're gathering a huge demographic in Canada with this song, right? And always, and you're a true inspiration. No wonder you do motivational speaking, man, because you're a true inspiration, man. You got always strive for better, man. And just like when something tragic could happen in your life or does happen in your life, you always got to think, how can I be better? And if it was my last day on earth, how would I want to live it? You know, that kind of sensibility of what you want to do and how you want to carry on. And luckily, in your accident, nothing too catastrophic happened. And but it made you glimpse at life in a different light and say, hey, I mean, I don't want to be remembered as the party kid or someone that didn't have their life together. I want to be remembered for something meaningful. You know what I mean? And you only have one life, and you conquered it, man. You've already conquered it, and it's just the only way is up from here, man. You've started it. Yeah. The foundation is built, baby. You got you got a little bit of framework to go, and then I don't think they're putting a roof on your house, buddy. You're going fucking skyrocket. It's gonna be good, man. I'm excited for you, dude.
It's the bamboo. Have you ever heard the quote from a bamboo tree?
No.
You know a bamboo tree. Do you know how it grows? So a bamboo tree doesn't grow in the first 4 years. It stays underground. It stays underground for the first 4 years. So it grows to its full length in 5 years. So for the first 4 years, it's in darkness. It's underground. In the last year, it grows up to like 8 feet. Like, so it's just literally just talking about just the seed and like literally just consistently working at in the darkness and being misunderstood. And like, that's what I say. If you're trying to go into music and you're trying to do something big with it and actually like leave a legacy, you are going to be misunderstood. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to do anything different that's not the status quo and you're outside the lanes, prepared to be misunderstood and made fun of and laughed at and ridiculed, and I've been through it all. I've had my best friend called me a gypsy and like literally say to me like, you know, like what if you make it to 35 and you still don't make it in music? And I go, well, at least I'll know. At least I tried, and at least I'll know I gave it my all. And if I don't ever do it, then, and I remember that conversation, and now guess what? He heard this song, and guess who's in my inbox?
Yep.
You can't have in life. You got to try not to have regrets, man. Yeah. And a lot of 60-year-old fucking sorry for swearing, but a lot of 60-year-old gentlemen will sit down, and what's the thing that they usually always say? Man, you know, I could have did this way, and I should have done this, and I really wanted to be this in my life, but you know, things like got married, had kids, this and that, you know. Always strive for greatness, man. Be hungry for greatness, and never think of yourself as like your life short, right? Never count yourself out. Keep it going, and that's what you did, man. And I mean, your story is just, it's incredible, Archie? You know, you go to Cayman Islands, right? And all of a sudden, boom, you're kind of on this path of unknowingness, and then someone leads you to Nashville. You get told, you know, as an artist yourself, that you're pretty good at what you do, and then that moves you to be doing this. And now look at you, man. I know right now it's a smaller podcast and everything, but we're definitely very grateful that you're on here and we could share your story, man. I mean, for you to come on and play live right now was just Archie, man. Archie, I'm gonna give you a hug and a kiss next time I see you for getting Greg Ryder on the show, baby.
Huge.
Always, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, I love it. I think it's just amazing. Before, you know, it's just like, I hope you guys, I hope this, you know, you never know if this song blows up. I hope you guys come with me, because you know what? I think you guys, for the first ones to find it and the first ones to bring me on, man, I hope you guys get the recognition and your hard work of all the sacrifice, and even starting a show like this. I'm sure people made fun of you and said, man, like, what are you doing? Like, you know, there's everything, man. You did something different, and I hope you come with me, man. I hope you both come with me, and I hope we rise together. And you know, I'm all about that, man. I want to rise with everyone, and yeah, let's go,
Greg.
Awesome, man. I'll be at your show, but don't worry, I'll be there. Trust me. I'll buy you a beer backstage, okay?
I can chug them pretty quickly, so let's go. I'm going to be pretty jacked up.
It's amazing,
good, man.
I'm going to bring Luke Combs on a stage and try to take him in a shotgun. I think I can beat him.
It's funny because you guys speak of greatness, and what you mentioned just brings me right back to my favorite hockey player, the great one, Wayne Gretzky, another Canadian. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You took your shot, Greg. You took your shot, and did you fucking score? I'm telling you right now, amazing. I'm so happy that you came. I'm happy you joined us. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah. And you've got a fan here, and I guarantee you and Wade and a lot of our listeners will be
absolutely, man,
to the release. I can't wait for this song to be in studio and produced, man.
I know. I can't even wait for that song to be produced, man. Let's go. I'll be listening to it. I'll tell you that much. I got a new artist spot on Spotify now, man. You're gonna be taking up my main page, bud. Very good, sir.
I'm so appreciative, guys. Thank you for having me on, and this was amazing. Like, look, we're at an hour and 23 minutes. Yeah. I wonder the heroes that have like stayed on for like whoever you guys are. Like, thank you, like just for staying along and tagging along, because I feel like a lot of stuff was talked about, and it's cool. I can't wait to listen back to it and just kind of take it in, and it's gonna be really cool.
Greg.
Absolutely, man. Me too, buddy. It was really nice to meet you, Greg. Seriously, you have a new friend in me, buddy. I'm gonna add you on Facebook or start following you. I know that you're probably gonna blow up soon, and someone's gonna have to get a hold of your Instagram handles and Facebook handles. But dude, yeah, awesome job today, man. I really appreciated you coming on the show, man. Archie's the one that did the research and got you here, and I'm really appreciative that Archie did that. It's good for you, man, to find this gem. I mean, who knows, man? I really do. Trust me, man. I really do believe I see you on stage at Scotiabank playing that song, dude. I can't even wait to see it. It's gonna happen, buddy. It's a vision. It's gonna happen, dude. I'm really happy for you. Keep writing music, please.
I will, man.
Have a beer and a whiskey and write something else tonight. We need more Greg Ryder.
I love it, guys. Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks very much, guys. And if we're all done here, then I guess, is there one more question? I think we had the one thing, but I guess we're probably running.
There was
has any families heard it yet? And
that was one of the comments that came in. Yeah.
I'll answer that just by so what I'm trying to do, like the song is going to be out December 11th. I'm actually uploading it as soon as I get off this. I got to go and get the cover art and upload it, and it's going to be out in about, hopefully everything goes to stores properly. We don't know. So we're hoping that it comes live on December 11th. And when it does, I'm still trying to find a way to, I want to give portions of a proceed. I want to give, the proceeds. And I've been in touch with Green Shirt Day, which is the celebration on April 7th, which I've talked to David Peckham. He absolutely loves the song. I've sent him the song, and he's actually sending it to the Boulay family. So by this time, I'm pretty sure they've heard it because it was about 3 days ago. I'm just waiting back for an email from them, for those guys. So yeah, it's in the Boulay's hands. They've received it. I don't know if they've listened to it yet, but I'm excited just to see what they think of it. And David said if they like it and they love it, he said just get ready. He said you're gonna be playing it for him, and I'm like, all right, let's go. So I don't know what's gonna come, but right now the next step is getting it up and just getting it out to the world and just taking it one day at a time and one step at a time and just seeing where it goes.
Awesome stuff, Greg. Really great. Really good that you came on the show, man. I can't even put it into words, man. You're just I'm so fascinated by your story and yourself as a human being right now. Just what you've been through and what you're doing. It's truly inspirational, man. I hope that everyone that's been listening on the show takes you all in, embraces it, and does something spectacular in the next couple days or something. That's how I feel. So.
Love it, man. Awesome, guys. Well, have a great night. And I'd love to connect with you guys down the road and in the next couple weeks or whatever. And we'll see where this goes. And we'll go together, guys. So thanks, guys.
Thanks again, Greg.
Thanks, Greg. Take care, buddy. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
See ya. Jeez.
My goodness.
That was honestly I was lost for words, man. Like, that was an incredible performance, and I'm honored that we are the first to show this live, and like literally unplugged. Like, nobody's seen this full performance like this before. I'm humbled that he joined us. I loved everything about it, and there's nothing more to follow up to that. Like, I don't even know what to say.
I know, man. It was so good to have him on here. I mean, he really brought back the memories of that accident for me in the song. Just thinking about it, and man, he's so talented, right? He's so talented, and he has a lot going for him. And I just can't wait to hear him play that song live in front of thousands of people, man. And for them to really appreciate it the way that me and you and everyone listening just got to. So, my goodness, man, Greg Ryder, every Canadian citizen will remember that name, man. I'm telling you right now.
That was amazing. So we've been going almost an hour and a half. We'll touch some quick base on some other topics going on in the league right now. So we know that we still have no official word on an upcoming season. They've been talking last few days. The NHL and the Players Association are going back and forth on some logistics when it comes down to contracts that they had agreed on. I believe it was in September. You and I were kind of touching base and talking about this earlier on. There's a lot of logistics in the numbers and the financial aspect of it all.
Yeah.
They've now set a potential target of January 15th, I believe it was, as a potential start date. And at this point, I mean, I'm just going to say it's hearsay until Gary Bettman comes out and makes an official announcement. I'm not going to hold my breath on it. Life is more important. As much as we want to see hockey, I think there's a lot more to this that takes its toll in making a final decision. I did see some interesting information of the potential of some teams exploring playing outdoor games for their home games in an effort to be able to allow fans to kind of adapt to the NFL's model and how they've been doing it, which would be pretty cool. Interesting, some of the teams that were in the mix for that, like LA and Anaheim, how they would pull off it's one.
They were in the mix for that.
Yeah, it's interesting to do it for one game for like a one-off, but to play a series of games, it'll be interesting. But I mean, I think it's a cool idea that they're even exploring it and considering it. They're trying, and I mean, we all want hockey back, of course, and it's a matter.
They have to explore all possibilities at this point, Archie. I mean, if you could have 4,000, 5,000 people in stands outside that are socially, physically distanced 6 feet on risers or bleachers or whatever, then that's not too bad. I mean, depending on what time of year it is, I mean, I guess. We're forgetting. I mean, if it is in those. No, never mind. It's still hot there. I was thinking about like a Canadian city and May or June or whatever. But as far as that goes, Bettman says the 15th. They're trying. Players and the NHL they're not agreeing on things right now. So that's still in the talks. And obviously, there's a lot of politics and a lot of things going on behind the scenes right now for NHL to start up. I've heard the same things that you heard, Archie, with the I heard that they're set on about 56 games, 58 games, 52 games. Anyways, I think they're already scrapping 60 games out of the system.
Yeah.
So it's going to be in the 50s or so. I've also heard for Canadian divisions, I read this today, that they want to do kind of like how baseball does it. So you would have a team come and play like a series of like out of 3 or something. So you'd have Edmonton, you'd face them 3 or 4 times in a row, like 1, 2, 3 days or something. I mean, it's just a possibility. It's an idea, right? I don't see that happening because you need guys to recover. Hockey is a way different sport than baseball. Yeah. I mean, you need guys to recover, right? So I could see back-to-backs. You throw NHLers on a back-to-back-to-back. It's not going to be pretty, man. That third game is going to be it's not going to be as fast. It won't be as physical. People are going to be exhausted, and then you got to get on a plane after and go somewhere else, right? So I don't really see that happening. But the All-Canadian division sounds like it's going to be a real thing if hockey does start back up, just because of the border closings and border crossing being shut down still. So that's exciting. But, dude, there's not much NHL hockey to talk about yet. You know what? There is one little thing, Archie. There's still a few UFAs, bud.
Yeah, they're still unclaimed players, and I think everybody's kind of waiting to see what happens.
Hey, you got just to name off a few, just so if anyone's interested. You have Eric Holla, you have Soderberg, you have Brassard as the top centers, and then for wingers, you still have Hoffman, you have Duclair, you have Michael Granlund, Kovalchuk, Sheary, and Perry. And then for defense, you have Vatanen, Hamonic, and Zdeno Chara. So you still have some decent – they're not superstar players, but you still have players that could come in and have some kind of impact on any team. So that's kind of – hopefully we hear some news on them soon because, I mean, it is crunch time to get into training camp. So I don't know. If the NHL is doing a training camp, it's got to be definitely in the next 2 weeks because they got to come here in quarantine, maybe in the next week, right? So who knows?
And we did see there was some footage of some players getting together, McDavid and Matthews. My God, I would love to see that in real life. But the two of them got together and did some drills and practicing and just, messing around just to keep in shape. And it's every Leaf fan's dream to see those two guys on the same line together playing. I mean, I'd pay to go watch them play shinny.
Oh my goodness. Of course, man. I like it because, dude, I mean, they're both the full arsenal player.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously McDavid's speed is just incredible with the puck. I mean, no one's as fast as him with the puck than maybe McKinnon, but his speed and then Matthews just quick release, his quick wrist shot. I mean, those two intertwining and talking about their special skill sets and trying to figure each other out in a way. Like, who knows? Maybe you see McDavid with a little bit more of a quicker release on a wrist shot now, and you see Matthews with an extra step, like an extra step or something. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, what a cool duo, man.
Yeah. So I mean, we saw a bit of that. So players are kind of doing their thing and trying to make sure that they're staying in shape as well, of course. We talked about the reverse retro jerseys that Adidas released last week. We talked in depth and in length, at great lengths. I'm starting to see some of them a little more. A lot of teams are releasing them physically on a hockey player with equipment. Some of them are starting to look a little bit better. It's kind of growing on me a little bit.
Archie's the kind of guy that needs to see the jersey on a player first in order to judge it correctly. So that's good for you.
And then EA Sports decides to bring it into NHL. And they look pretty cool on the hockey players. So I'm just going to share this really quick because I saw this today and I thought, wow, okay, I like what they did here. So we've got a video game rendering of the players and the jerseys. And I got to say, they did a pretty good job with some of these players too. So I'll just scroll through these real quick. We don't want to waste too much time talking about this again. But this kind of gives us an idea of the pants because we only saw jerseys. And now this kind of makes things more official when it comes to what pant color they're going with and the socks to match the rest of the uniform. So we saw these three here. A few more here. I know some people were wondering what the Jets might do, and I like it. It completes it really well. We'll just keep going along here.
Man, what that Dallas Stars jersey still just
yeah.
I do not like it at all, man. I'm sorry. What the heck, man? Tyler Seguin he looks like he looks like what are those things called, the Dark Walkers or whatever in Game of Thrones? Like I don't know, man. It's way too white, man. I don't like it.
Yeah, this completes the ugly in that look. They maybe could have got away with it if they would have gone with green pants, but they went all white. Horrible look. The Leafs one's kind of growing on me. It
looks good there. I mean, I'm still not really a fan of the logo they use, but I mean the jersey still it's decent, dude. We had this conversation. It's an original 6, but I mean it's Leafs jerseys, man. We love Leaf jerseys. I mean, it's very rare that me and you will be like, I hate it all. Ooh, you know, it's it's all good. But how good do the Washington and St. Louis jerseys look, dude? They look unreal, man.
Really sharp, and kudos to the EA team for giving Matthews his stash. He's got it in the game too. It's phenomenal.
Isn't he supposed to shave it off if he had like $120,000 or $134,000?
$34,000. So I'm pretty sure he was pretty close.
And he didn't get it?
I don't know if he hit it.
Oh, I hope he didn't. I'm sorry. I don't care what anyone says, bro. Austin Matthews, to me, now is Austin Mustachios, man. I love the mustache, man. I think it makes him look good, bro. I think it's hilarious, dude. The guy's got the Mexican. The guy has the Mexican Arizona like intertwined friggin' look, man. Just it's great.
Yeah, there's no update yet, so I'm sure it'll be a matter of time before they calculate those results in there. And then a couple more again that we had talked about. That Buffalo one is fire.
Yeah, man, it looks sharp. It looks sharp. I still like the Coyotes one, man. I think it looks cool.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Pittsburgh. I don't know what they were thinking. Crosby's face says it all in this picture too. Islanders didn't change anything.
Like I don't know. What were they doing?
I'm digging the orange pants on the Oilers.
So do I. It kind of gives it a pop now. It looks good. Colorado's jersey looks good. I like it definitely with the Nordiques. Like we talked, Tampa Bay, it just looks old. Like, I don't know. It looks old and it looks washed up. You know, it doesn't have no pop in it. It's just their same logo, like from whatever, like 15 years ago or something, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
And then Detroit, along with the Dallas Stars, to me, we've already had this conversation. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Worst jersey in the league. Detroit should have did something better, man. Come on.
Yeah. And then we got these ones here. Pretty nice. Not too
Those
bad.
are all three of those are actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
That Ducks one is pretty crazy, man. Look at the pants. Oh,
They really threw it back.
yeah.
But yeah, so that's thank you to EA for releasing those. Pretty cool. I like that. They kind of gave a little bit more of a look to it, and they were able to complete the look, which is awesome. So yeah, in addition to that, a little bit on the World Juniors. They shut down a couple of the training camps because COVID's running rampant over there, and there's been no word on any delays or cancellations. So I'm assuming they're still aiming to go ahead with it. I don't know if you've heard anything different, but that's pretty much all I got on that.
Okay, so have you heard there was a couple of COVID-related closures?
Yeah, or it might have been
was it just the Canadians?
the Canadian one. Yeah, it was just the Canadian one.
Okay, so you know what? A lot of people. I was just reading about it today, man. A lot of people are thinking. So I'll tell you right now. I was just on. I was on a hockey, like an all hockey site, and I was just reading about the different players from all the different teams and the predictions and everything going, guys. And I have. They said they're thinking because Canada had this COVID-19 problem, and they missed 2 weeks of developing and training, and maybe missing that one gem in the rough that they're taking another kid because this kid was sick or whatever. So they're actually placing them on the prediction chart to third. So they think Canada's going to go bronze this year. That's just what the prediction was off this site, which was kind of funny for me to see. And then they think Russia, because of what's the kid's name? Yaroslav Askarov, the goalie. They're thinking because he's so good that he could maybe Patrick Waugh them and win them some cups win them the championship. So they're putting Russia at second. They have an all-around really good team with a really good goalie. And you know who they put first, surprisingly? Sweden. Apparently Sweden's roster from top to bottom is really strong. And yeah, they got a lot of guys in the draft and a lot of older players too. So they're going to be a little bit tougher, meaner, and they're projecting them to maybe go for gold this year. And they haven't won gold since 2012. So they're always knocking on the door. You know how the Swedes are. But as far as we also heard that Lafreniere he's not released from the New York Rangers, which I totally agree. You don't know with COVID right now. You don't want Lafreniere to go. He's already played a Canadian junior. Usually these exceptional superstar first overall picks play 1 year in the juniors and then they're gone to their team, because why would you want to risk that? You want him to get used to the New York Rangers. You want to get accustomed to the team, to the guys. You want to train him your way and get him with the program, right? So I can understand that. The same thing with Jack Hughes. The Devils came out and said, we don't really want Jack Hughes going out and playing juniors for USA, blah, blah, blah. Same reasons as Lafreniere. He's already played a juniors before, and that's that. But I think there's the one kid for the Canadian team I was talking to you about, Shane Wright, man. He's like 15 years old or 16. He's one of the exceptional status kids into the WHL. So I'm excited to see if he'll make Team Canada. Apparently he's if anyone doesn't know what exceptional status is, in Canadian Hockey League, like Western Hockey League, OHL, which is the teams that are built from 16 to 19 years old, in Ontario and the west, in the west of Canada there. So if you get exceptional status from the time you're 14, you already have scouts on you. And you have to be 16 in order to get drafted to an OHL team or a Western Hockey League team. But exceptional status allows you to go as early as 14 years old. So this kid's actually got drafted into wherever he's playing at 15, and he's already lighting it up. So apparently he was on record to break McDavid and Crosby a couple of big records or something in the O. or Western Hockey League. He's in one of those Canadian hockey leagues, but because of COVID, obviously, he didn't really get to do too much more, and they stopped him in his tracks. But it'll be interesting if you see a 15-year-old or 16-year-old kid flying around on the ice on a fourth line, seeing what he could do. Because it's always good to see the juniors, man. You don't know who's going to be there and who's going to turn out to be a superstar. I know that the Americans are excited about the Montreal Canadiens first round pick, Caulfield or something like that.
Yep.
Apparently he's the star stud on the American team. You got Sanderson there. You also got Nick Robertson as a Leaf there. So it's going to be an interesting time. Sorry for the American fans on the show. Though I did not make these predictions, it was just some weird hockey site that I was just reading about everything, so I could totally be wrong. And it did say that the Americans up front this year are actually supposed to be really talented and hard to play against. So we'll see. It's a tournament with young teenagers, guys. So it can go any way. Finland usually has a good team. Russia, Sweden, USA, and Canada, of course. So you never know which way it's going to go, and it's always exciting. It's the only little bit of hockey we're going to get to watch in the near future. So I'm excited about it.
Yep. And along with no Lafreniere, we've also heard no Jack Hughes. New Jersey's not allowing him either, which makes sense. I mean, you invest so much money into these guys once you draft them. Can you imagine your number one pick going down in a juniors tournament? So I can understand why they're doing that. Totally makes sense. And I'm looking forward to some hockey, man. Like I hope that starts up soon and on schedule so that we can get to see some fast-paced, good old junior hockey.
Oh man, I really hope so, Archie. I hope that COVID doesn't have some other crazy breakout or something. I mean, they're gonna do a bubble. They're gonna do a bubble in Edmonton. So I mean, what are we? December 6th today, or something like that. December 4th.
Yep. Okay.
So these kids have to get to. Oh no, they're already in Alberta.
Yeah, right? They're there. Yep.
Oh, okay. But what about the other countries? Are the other countries there yet, or?
I haven't seen any of that. That's the thing. The only footage I saw so far was Canada's team arriving there. I don't think the rest of the teams have arrived just yet. I would assume this coming week into the next week, we're going to start to see a lot of these teams flying in.
Okay, yeah. There hasn't been too much chat about the juniors yet anyway. It usually starts to ramp up within about 2 weeks of the first game.
Yeah.
So in the next, it's still kind of flatline COVID season right now, and unfortunately, there's not too much to talk about other than a great song written by Greg Ryder. I mean, that was phenomenal. That was really cool. But buddy, Archie, anything else on your mind?
One last thing. I don't want to talk too much about it. I think it's comical. It's entertainment right now. The feud going on between Evander Kane and Jake Paul after Jake Paul. And his infamous
how did we not talk about this
knockout? There was a comment on it. Michael here said, "What did you guys think of the Evander Kane running his mouth and challenging Jake Paul to a boxing match?" So I thought it was crazy that they even did this, but then again, I guess there's no career loss for who was it that he fought again? The basketball.
Robinson?
Yeah. So
Nate Robinson.
Nate Robinson. So
that's who Jake Paul fought.
Yeah, so he's not in basketball anymore. So I could see like whatever it happened, and it was horrible. I felt horrible for him. My highlight for that was Snoop Dogg doing the announcing on the side and saying, what's he got on his feet? What's he wearing? Is he wearing basketball shoes? Because he was sliding all over the place and just throwing himself in there and just not defending at all. It was an entertaining night nonetheless, but in the end, Jake Paul did knock him out, and boy, I think he was sleeping before he hit the ground. And clever of Jake Paul to call out Conor McGregor after the fight. I mean, yeah, right. Good luck. You're looking for a big payday. Anybody who fights McGregor is making big money. McGregor's not going to waste his time on Jake Paul. I can guarantee you that.
No.
So then now Evander Kane jumps into the mix, and they're chirping each other on social media for the last week, and it's entertaining. It's fun stuff to watch, how they're both chirping each other, like, who are you type of thing.
Buddy, did you hear what he said? He's like, I'll take that off your head and mop the floor with it. And he looked like he was like blitzed or like he just like smoked smoked a joint or something. He's just like, buddy, I'll take that mop off your head and mop the floor with it. I'm just like, what the hell is this guy doing, man?
Yeah,
I mean,
I was ready to throw some money into it. Now, obviously, this won't happen. I don't care what anybody says, not going to happen. He is a contracted hockey player. There is no way this will be allowed to even happen, at least not until Evander Kane retires. There's no way, even in the offseason. No chance.
Yeah, like what the hell? I mean, Evander Kane just threw it out there. I mean, obviously he's kind of like, in Canada, Evander Kane is, every hockey player is a celebrity, especially when you score 30 goals in a season. And he's done that. And I think that he was just kind of calling it out. And I think that as soon as you see a San Jose Sharks player call someone out, that the media just goes nuts for it. And Jake Paul's brother, Logan Paul, he's a bigger YouTuber star than Jake Paul is. I mean, I've watched Logan from years ago, just on little skits on on TikTok or what, not even TikTok, whatever it was, Vines and all that stuff before all this TikTok stuff. Yeah. And but yeah, Logan Paul is wanting to fight Evander Kane. It's not even Jake anymore. Logan stepped in and said some words about Evander, and kind of is bringing up these little footage videos of Evander going, "Oh yeah, I don't see myself as too much of a tough guy," and "Oh yeah, I'm not really like a fighter and stuff." And then like Kane will post something on that and tag him in it, and it'll be Kane like knocking someone out on the ice, and he'll be like, "Hey buddy, did you know that hockey players fight too?" So now it's not even Jake Paul and Evander. Now it's Logan Paul and Evander, and Logan Paul's also a boxer. So I don't know what the hell's going to happen, but Logan came out when he first heard about Evander Kane, and I don't know if you heard his hilarious remarks. He's just like, Evander Kane from San Jose Sharks, is that like some weird mystical creature in like the San Jose water or something? And then he said, is this guy an active NHL roster player right now? And he's like, why the hell is he even calling it out? When is he going to train? When is Evander Kane going to train to box? Do you think that money on the president of San Jose Sharks? Huh?
And then he throws money on it. He goes, I'll do it. And he's like, I'll put $250,000 on it or something. It's like, what?
Yeah. Do you think that the president of San Jose Sharks is going to say, hey, Evander, yeah, you can train in the summer and go fight someone in Vegas. Hopefully you don't like get knocked out or get like, or have some kind of impactful injury that'll keep you out of our lineup. There's no way that fight's going to happen. If it is, then I mean, just add on something more crazy onto COVID-19 in 2020. I mean, that fight would happen in 2021 anyway, but it would have started from, to a week ago when he got called out. So I don't think it's going to happen. And that's my thoughts on that. There was someone else, Bud, that called out Logan Paul or Jake Paul. And it was another sports guy, and I'm trying to remember who it was, but someone else came out of nowhere and said, oh yeah, this Jake Paul guy, I'll fight him or something. And I was like, oh man, he came out now? Like everyone wants to fight this Jake Paul guy. Like, I don't know why, who cares? He's just the celebrity guy that was in a boxing celebrity kind of match. Tyson and Jones wanted to have another match. Just either they wanted money or they were just like, let's just show the world something else, and it's the end of our lives or our boxing careers, and let's just show them we still got it. I don't really know what it was, but it's probably a money thing, right, Archie? I mean, it's usually always about the money. But didn't Mike Tyson do something for a charity for all his winnings or something? Didn't he give it to something?
There was money involved that was going to charity and whatever. I mean, we won't get into that because it's a weird. The whole thing was strange, but it was entertaining, and it helped with filling a big gap that's been there for everybody when it comes to sports and entertainment. So I liked it. I like there's musical artists and performances, and it was cool. And I'm sure we'll see more interesting things like this come up. But for anybody asking, the Evander Kane thing is not happening, and if it does, it'll be when he retires, because there's no chance that the NHL or the union is going to allow something like that to happen.
Yeah, there's no way, guys. You can vouch for it as much as you want, or or try to friggin' get it hyped up enough and you could even sign petitions that you want it to happen for Evander Kane, and it's not going to happen, man. This guy's an active NHL roster player for the San Jose Sharks, guys. There's just no way he's going to go into a ring in Vegas and fight a YouTube star, TikTok star boxer. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know what kind of boxing experience Evander Kane does have. I know he's a hockey fighter. I know that usually if you fight in hockey, you do have some kind of background in fighting, but you're also not a boxer. Like, why? Like, if Evander Kane wanted to box someone in a boxing ring, I would pay to see him challenge Ryan Reeves in a boxing match. That would be freaking hilarious, you know?
Yeah,
like, keep it like an NHL boxing match. You know what? We used to call it locker boxing. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Locker boxing is when I used to do it when I played hockey when I was 13, 14 years old. You put on your helmet with your cage, your two hockey gloves, and you go at it with your buddy. That's locker boxing, man. And it friggin' hurts. Don't think that the cage saves you, man. There's big guys that give some big blows. I've seen some stars a few times playing that in the dressing room, man. But that toughens you up. That's good old Canadian fun right there, eh?
Yeah. So that pretty much brings us to the end. Of course, just like last week, we do have a partnership going on with Manscaped. Now, some of you may have noticed the show is no longer produced under All Everything Entertainment. We are now The Buzz, rebranded. Still the same show on a better network, bigger network. We're doing big things. It's been a great week for all of our shows on the network. And I'll play a couple videos here. So here's a promotional video for Manscaped. If you are interested, there's a ticker at the bottom, promo code BTP2020. You get 20% off, free shipping. It's still an ongoing thing. Great gift for Christmas, great gift for yourself, for a family member, a friend, whatever the case may be. Great product. So I'm just going to show the video for that real quick. So again, that is promo code BTP2020, 20% off plus free shipping. Just visit manscaped.com, and you can check out all their products. They just released a new cologne as well. All kinds of cool things over there that you can check out and feel free to pick up. In addition to that, for anybody who's wondering as well, we do still have a bunch of other podcasts on our network. And right now, as we continue to grow the new brand of The Buzz, we ask for all your support. Of course, if you could please check us out on all our social media channels, platforms. Just basically do what this says, man. It's pretty simple.
Get the Lambo car, house in the hills with the stars. Told you I'd raise the bar, told you that I'd go far. Baby, it's crystal clear. I'm not a souvenir. I'm not an accessory. I'm a necessity. So come and check me out now. I'm a necessity. So come and check me out now.
And again, though our website is currently not up and running just yet, we are working on getting that up in the near future, where you'll be able to catch a lot of our stuff, written work, some more podcasts and all that will be readily available for you to see. And since I don't have anywhere else to show you to direct you, one more video here that basically shows all of our shows for anybody interested in watching some other stuff and content we've got.
War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them I'm ready, any opponent. The crown heavy and every minute it's chosen. A path only fit for kings, and you don't know what this court means. What did you enlist for? If it isn't getting more rings, then you gon' have to switch your team. Trust me, it gets more mean. I'm a nightmare going up against your dreams. First step is explosive like a bomb hit. Bet if I let it fly, I cannot miss. And you ain't got a chance at the top 10 when you getting clamped all night by your locksmith. On the block, throwing lobs to my top bigs. I'm a chef, no look with the top dish. Tie game, through the pressure as the clock ticks. Crossover, step back, hit a shot, switch. Tell them that's what we ready for.
So there you have it. That is our complete lineup of shows. All kinds of stuff available every night. Pretty much, we've got something going on. Friday night, man. Wade, what's your plan for the weekend?
Buddy, I am working all weekend. I worked all last weekend. I'm not going to have any days off for about 21 days straight. So,
oh, geez.
We are busy where I work right now. So I'm going to probably crash around 11, get up, go to work, come home, and it's going to be a very boring weekend. Nothing exciting for me, Archie. I'd rather ask you that question. Anything going on?
No, man. I mean, we've had some crazy weather. We've got rain, snow, all kinds of slush and sleet out there. So just going to, take it easy this weekend. I'm probably going to work on that website for the Buzz so we can get it up there and running sooner.
Wonderful.
And I'm going to definitely be in contact with our new friend, Greg, and supporting him and his journey, because I'm really looking forward to seeing more of that and hearing more of his stuff as well. So
likewise, buddy. Likewise.
Yeah. So for everybody else, guys, thanks again for joining us another long episode. We thank you for all the support, and we will see you again next week. Special guest coming. I will announce that later on in the week as we get closer, and we'll see you then.
Ciao, guys. Thank you.
See you, Wade.